Hey guys, welcome to another session of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So last time we were doing landings and we got some feedback on a different configuration. And it definitely seems these arches were meant for a full flaps configuration. I think you'll be able to see that I just fly inside the arches. And eventually they'll turn blue. We need a better pitch here. Let's try 12 degrees trim. See if that does anything. Immediately blue. You really only need such subtle changes. Then give it a couple of seconds to see if that fixed the issue. And such minor changes like some examples you might be able to find online of some planes having a certain window, a type of window with a hole in it. So you can introduce an object, like say soda can in your hand, stick it outside a little bit, and the plane just shifts out of control so much, very dramatically shifts trajectory. Doesn't take much of a difference. And the whole thing changes configuration. Like a gust of wind when flying slow. And flying fast and introducing a change in the body shifts the aerodynamics so much. The plane just changes direction. The shape itself influences so much. And here I think I'm too low. Peppies are way off. That's why I think there's simulators that do have an emphasis on airports, on specific airports, and detailing individual airports. That might be what you want for actual training. So that super slow approach, completely unnecessary, but definitely something you want to learn, and it's unnecessary for large runways. You of course have to learn it, but unnecessary for something this immense. We haven't even navigated a fifth of this thing, probably. This is the umbral right there. You don't even need to let it roll so much. Just like 1 second of touchdown, and possibly as soon as you touch down, begin introducing brakes. Don't have to let it roll long. So let's change our previous configurations. It was sub 2000 RPM and somewhere around 12% trim. Alright, let's up those RPMs. It's hard to guess the sensitivity on this thing, on the buttons. Just using an Xbox remote. Using A button, B button. Weird sensitivity. Let's try 13 degrees trim. Alright. So we got a good RPM, good speed. We want more vertical descent, closer to 500. To make up for our time in 300, let's keep it at 6. I think we're going to be good there, for a while at least. So you can clearly see I've just been traveling inside of the arches. This pathway, this trajectory, was meant for a full flaps configuration. It totally was. feedback mentioned that. Mentioned slow approach at least at full flaps. And it looks like it. It applies to the path of the arches. It's meant to be slow approaches pretty much every time. We'll have to experiment with other airports to confirm. But useful feedback if we could get more of that. The trajectory of the arches, it's a full flaps configuration. This pappy's gotta be off. Alright. Not bad. Alright, we'll do one more. Full flaps configuration right from the start. It looks like we start at a wide arch anyway. So the bottom left corner, the airspeed, it's out of the green and into the white. That white bar means we can start introducing our flaps, so we can go ahead and introduce 1, reduce speed, introduce 2, reduce more speed, introduce 3. So just our previous configuration, it was somewhere around 13-14 trim, sub 2000 to start. And that should put us into a position that gets close to like 500 vertical speed negatives. Just gotta keep adjusting and readjusting here, reducing RPMs. So we have a decent configuration, -5. We can afford some leeway on -6-7 to make up for these losses here. A little high. Warning for being high just went away, so let's stick here for a couple of seconds. Closer to -1000 rather than 5 to make up for the excess altitude. So we're going to go to 6-7 there. 6, 7, 8. And then back to 5, and we're looking at the negative vertical speed here in the bottom right corner. I'm going to keep that at -5. So let's increase our throttle a little bit. Even at the end here, we can afford some throttle and not ascend. Let's go to the center. Right, everything but the centering there. You can totally tell this was the way it was meant to be. Regardless of the immense runway, the trajectory seems to be predetermined for short landings, or short runway landings. Awesome. Let's experiment with another airport. Let's try that,